Hello everybody out there in YouTube land, Noodle here, and we're back. We're back in Testificating. Welcome to Wednesday. If I haven't fucked up our schedule yet, it should be Wednesday. Alright, so last time I ranted about Patreon. I hope some of you checked out that link. I hope you guys left your comments below that video. Let me know what you guys think about it. But I won't be touching on that in this video. We're moving on. It was awkward for me to rant on and on about money, and especially you guys' money, and especially giving it to YouTubers. It's always very awkward, and I feel like it was out of place. I don't regret it because things have to be said, things have to be discussed, but we're moving on. So we're going to go ahead and fix the roof today, and somebody asked me a long time ago when I was telling my story about how I met Baby Girl. They were asking me about my experiences in the military, and they asked me if I had deployed to Afghanistan, and I said yes, and they wanted me to tell stories, war stories, I guess, and that's fine. We can do that. I want to remind everybody that I do have time dyslexia, so I'm gonna try to keep my stories as chronological as possible, but every time I've tried to tell stories like this, they are in fucking some random order. Also, I do have to say that, and this isn't to sound badass or to try to give myself bragging rights or anything like that, but I can't really talk about my first time that I went to Afghanistan, at least not in a public forum like this, because I'm pretty certain that it's still classified. I didn't kill anybody that you know of, or done anything crazy like it'll ruin the secrecy of the nation, but I still worked with information that shouldn't be put out there. I did a few operations that shouldn't be put out there, at least not for several years, and I'm not exactly sure what I can say and what I can't, so I'm just going to take the safe road and say that I'm just not going to talk about it. I can mention one or two things that I know for a fact won't or not, I can be yeah, I was all over the place, stuff like that, but I'm not really going to get too much into my first time in Afghanistan, and to be honest, it was only for about 3 months. So a majority of my time in Afghanistan I can talk about. So let's talk about deployments. I forgot what I was doing. Fixing this roof. Hang on, I want to kind of see. Do I want it out? I do want it out. So I'm going to need stairs. So I'm going to have birch. That's birch. I need oak. I need lots of oak wood. I think I have a lot in here. All right, so let's start with deployment. So I was in the military, and I didn't get a chance to deploy very much, believe it or not. That's not a very good way to start the story at all. Oh, look, I have oak wood. I'm an idiot. The unit that I was with, we mostly deployed to Central and South America. And I will tell you that is cool that they deployed down there, but I never really got a chance to. And I think it really boiled down to two really good reasons why not. Reason number one, I forgot dirt. Reason number one is I was really inexperienced, and they already had people who were used to deploying down in South America who could fucking speak Spanish. I don't speak Spanish. I'm the worst Mexican ever. But these people were already used to going to South America. They were already used to the missions. They didn't have to reteach or re-explain anything to them. So I was sort of a liability when it came to deploying, because they're like, fuck, man, we got to spend all this time and resources to train this fucking guy when we can just take our buddy Mosov over here. And Mosov has already been to South America a million times. He knows what's up, and we can just get right to work. So I think that was a big contributing factor. The second one was that I was pretty fucking whiny when I was in the military. At least when it was my first few years in. I was very, very whiny, and I complained a lot. I was just a fucking whiner. I really was. I'm adult enough to know that now, in hindsight, Jesus Christ, I would have beat the shit out of myself. Like, if I went back in time, I would just beat the shit out of myself mercilessly and be like, stop fucking whining, you're goddamn complaining about nothing. Like, I don't know, man. It was just, I think I was just annoyance to people, and they didn't want to fucking deal with me. So I kind of got left behind a lot. I was kind of like Rudolph, but without a glowing nose and without a Santa. That's very sad, I know. So donate to me on Patreon. I'm just kidding. So, what was I going to say? Oh, yeah, so, being white. Ooh, that looks... I don't know about that. I thought it would look good, but I think I was wrong. It looks like it's out of place, doesn't it? Yeah, I think what it is, I'm just gonna take off the underside. I think the overside is fine, but the underside, I think that has to go. All right, so anyway, so what was I? Whiner? Yeah, okay, I was a whiner, complaining nobody wanted to fucking put up with me. Okay, so then so I didn't get a chance to go anywhere. So I ended up just kind of hanging back for the longest fucking time. And finally a mission came up. And at this point, my friends had already started to outrank me because they got all these cool deployments, they got hookups like crazy. Man, this still just looks fucking off. No, actually it looks pretty good. I think I'm gonna go stick with it to the other side. Let's see. Yeah, that looks okay. I guess that's good enough. I'm gonna go ahead and fix this side though. Ow, what the fuck? Oh, spiders. So they were already starting to outrank me, and they got like all these fucking perks and stuff, and I was kind of left behind. But being behind, like what we called in the rear, like I know, here comes the butt jokes. I did make friends with, like, I guess important people or higher ranking individuals, and one of which was my first sergeant. I actually got to know her really well, and I wouldn't say that we were friends, but I would say that she had my back. She kind of understood where I was coming from, and she didn't give me a hard time about my whininess or anything like that. In fact, she gave me a lot of, you should grow up advice, and I took it. And I think because I took it and because I was improving as just a fucking person in general, she gave me a shot. And she said, hey, listen, there's this major, he's going to Brazil, and I want you to go with him. And I was like, okay, as what, like his driver? And then she's like, no, he used to do our job a long time ago, but he fucking sucks at it now because he's a major. He hasn't had to do it in fucking forever. So I want you to go represent us in Brazil. And I was like, okay, well, what's going on? And apparently what was going on was that they had this big conference of, like, the Americas. So, like, Central and South America, North America, Canada, were all invited to this thing, and it was an anti-narcotic, anti-drug ring, anti-terrorism kind of fucking task force kind of thing, where it was a big war game strategy. It really was. It was war games, and they had all these people down here from all these nations, and we would have to like collaborate with each other to complete certain objectives. And it was all just sit down in an office, and in fact, we all sat down in a fucking hotel room in Brazilia, and it was me, the major, and then a doctor, and the doctor was there because he spoke Brazilian Portuguese, and I spoke bad English, and the major spoke Spanish. So between all of us, we got along in Brazil. So we got there, and all was great. The major was cool. I didn't have any fucking problems with the guy. The doctor that we went with was pretty cool. We all kind of had fun, like, flying down there. And then we get down there and we find out that we're in this hotel room. There's, like, the presidential suites and stuff. So we went down there and we had a blast. And we met up with the Brazilian guys that do our job. And they were really super cool. But the thing was, it was about halfway through the exercise, the Brazilian government realized that none of the soldiers were talking to each other. And by that, I mean, like, I didn't talk to anybody from Colombia or Venezuela. I mean, that we sat next to each other, but we never fucking talked. Why? Because it was a fucking language barrier. And then all the people who didn't have a language barrier had a culture barrier. Believe it or not, like, Colombia and Venezuela sit butt to butt with each other on the world map. But those people couldn't be any fucking different. They really couldn't. They're like fucking complete opposites. And so because of this, nobody talked. And it kind of defeated the purpose of the exercise because we didn't really interact with each other at all. So the Brazilian government was like, no, that's no good. We have to get these soldiers to fucking talk with each other. How do we get them to interact with each other? And somebody, in their fucking infinite wisdom was like, hey, you know what gets soldiers to get together and have fun? And they're like, what? And they're like, duh, an open bar. Fucking pump them full of alcohol. They'll all start having fun and talking with each other. So they made a mandatory get-together. I know I just fucking filled all this in with dirt, but hey, what? Sue me. They made it mandatory, like this mandatory fucking party we all had to go to. And we show up, and they're like, hey, it's an open bar. You can all leave after 9 p.m. And we're like, okay. So we sat down, obviously, with our respective groups that we were with, and then we kind of got boozed up and started talking. Now, the cool thing about this was they had it was an open bar, but they only had 3 kinds of alcohol that you can drink. They had this really, really shitty Brazilian beer. It was like, for any of you beer drinkers out there, it was like fucking just water. Like, it was disgusting. And I most certainly am I'm picky about my beers, so that was a no-go. I was like, no, I'm not having any of this shitty Brazilian beer and then getting diarrhea for the next fucking month. Speaking of which, I have a funny toilet story to say about Brazil. But anyway, the second drink they had was wine, and it was some red wine, I think. And I don't drink wine, so that was off the menu as well. And the only other thing that they had there was this scotch. And I like scotch, but I'm really picky about I'm really picky about alcohol in general. But I tried it. I was like, oh, this is going to be the fucking closest thing that I'd be able to drink. It was really good. Like, it was some damn good scotch. And I was like, all right, this is good. So I drank my little fucking glass of scotch. I drank about 2 of them, and I don't drink a lot. I really don't. It's not that I'm a lightweight. I'm not, but I just don't drink. Like, it's not my thing. I don't like getting drunk. And I don't like getting drunk because I don't like fucking hangovers. I get the worst hangovers in the world. I'm so jealous of my friend from fucking the military because he would get shit-faced drunk almost every night, and he would wake up and be like fucking good to go. He's like, oh yeah, headache? Nah, I don't have any of that. What, light sensitivity? What's that? Like, me, I feel like I fucking died. Like, my brains got sucked through a fucking tube. Oh, hello. Fucking zombie. Get the fuck out of here. Asshole. In my goddamn town. My goddamn town. He doesn't want to join the Misfits. There's only room for 1 zombie in the Misfits. Alright, so, what was I saying? Oh, yeah, so, this fucking... Okay, so, I'm drinking the scotch, and it's all well and good. And, what the fuck? That was a different flower? Okay. That was kind of weird. I'm super down, though. Oh, I don't have any room for more flowers. I'm going to put down this flower. I don't know what I'm doing. Here, get out of here. Flower. What the fuck? I don't know. So, I had my 2 cups of fucking scotch, and I was like, okay, I'm done. No more scotch. No more scotch. I'm all done. And so, I did what we do in America, and that's where I take my glass, and I shove it towards the center of the table. I'm done. Well, here comes the guy who's, like, filling up the glasses. And he, like, straight up just fucking grabbed my glass and filled that bitch back up again. And I was like, no, dude, I didn't want no more. And he's like, okay. And I was like, dude, I don't fucking want it anymore. And okay. So I was like, oh, Jesus Christ, fine, I'll fucking drink it. So I drank it. And then, like, I'm sipping on my stuff and I'm done. And we were kind of laughing about it. And this guy was like, dude, if you really want him to stop giving you alcohol, you have to do this. So he put, like, his fucking he put his cup like in front of him, and he put the coaster like that were on the tables. He put the coaster on top of the cup, and so everybody did the same because we were all pretty much done drinking. We were just kind of hanging out, having a good time, and here comes the guy, to refill the cups, and he looks at the coaster and he kind of like looks at it kind of weird. Then he flips off the fucking coasters and fills up all of our glasses. And we're like, Jesus Christ. Like, we tried to stop him, and he's like, "Eh?" And none of us could speak fucking Portuguese. So we were like, no more. No, done. We're done. We're done-o. Done-o. No more alcoholo in my fucking cup-o. And he's like, "Okay." And I'm, Jesus, I'm going to shake the fuck out of you. So we ended up having to drink the goddamn scotch. And we tried. We tried different things. We put the glasses under the table. He just fucking produced new glasses. We put the glasses upside down. He flipped them bitches over and filled them up. We fucking told him, no! Like, we moved tables, and he found us and filled us up. By the time we were like, fuck it, we're not playing this game. We're walking away. We were so shit-faced, it wasn't even funny. Like, I remember stumbling into the elevator, and I had to, like, stop 2 floors down because I was fucking delirious, and I was going to throw up all over the place. A friend of mine had to be carried, like, back to his room by, like, a fucking staff of security. Like, we drank, not just we, but, like, all the soldiers drank that fucking hotel dry in one night. No joke. And the Brazilian government was like, Jesus Christ. And we're like, well, that's what happens when you give an open bar to a bunch of soldiers. They're going to drink all your fucking liquor and not feel bad about it in the fucking least. Like, fuck you. You should have planned that shit out better. So that was my adventure in Brazil as far as getting fucking drunk. How much time do I have? I didn't even start my timer. Fuck me. Jesus Christ. These are supposed to be 20 minutes, people, and so far I'm failing miserable. Look, I'll tell my toilet story and then I'll cut the video because I'm fairly certain that I am over time already. Well, let's start fixing something else so I'm not just walking around the town stupidly. I don't fucking know what to fix. Let's fix this guard tower. Because this doesn't really need a lot of fixing at all. It just kind of needs to be brought up a little bit. So I get to Brazil, and this is like the first day there, and we get our own hotel rooms. Like, there's nobody else that's living with us. It's us by ourselves in a hotel room, which is fucking sweet. So I have like my own badass hotel room that I am now presiding in. So obviously you do what you always do when you go into a hotel, and that is you check everything out. You open all the cabinets, you look around, you try to figure out where the crawl spaces are so you can avoid them because in case there's creepypasta shit in there. And I get to the restroom, and it looks like a normal restroom, and I'm like, okay, well, now I have to pee. So I went to pee, and everything was fine. And then I tried to flush the toilet, and there wasn't a handle on the toilet. And before any of you assholes out there was like, you peed in the bidet. I know what the fuck a bidet is, okay, assholes. And no, it wasn't a bidet. In fact, they didn't have bidets. And for those of you who are like, what's a bidet? Google it. So, I couldn't find. There was no handle. There was no handle to it. It was just a fucking toilet jutting out of the wall. There was no, like, lever to pull. There was no switch to push. There was nothing, dude. I stared at the toilet for what must have been at least fucking 10 minutes. Looking for something to push. Nothing. It's fucking nothing. I was going to raise this up one, and I made it the exact same level. I'm an idiot. And so I had no choice. I had no choice but to leave it pee water. Eventually, I had to go number 2, and that was fucking terrible, because now I went, and I was like, I can't fucking flush the toilet. I don't know how to flush the goddamn toilet. And I was a little embarrassed to go next door and be like, hey, listen, I don't know how to flush the toilet. How do you flush the toilet? So, obviously, I didn't. I just kind of kept it to myself and hope for the best. And every day, I would go downstairs to go do the exercise with everybody, and I would come back, after room service was done, and the toilet would be flushed. And it fucking blew my goddamn mind. I was like, no fucking way. No way. So I searched again, and I searched the goddamn toilet. Like, I looked everywhere. Like, I looked under the toilet. I looked behind. There was no lid, but, like, I was looking everywhere, and there was nothing. There was nothing. I was like, there was, like, a pipe that came off of the toilet, like, into the wall, and I was, like, trying to, like, twist the pipe and, like, turn it, and there was nothing. No way to fucking flush the goddamn toilet. And day after day, man, after fucking room service left, I would come back, and my toilet would be flushed. It was a goddamn mystery. So, fast forward to halfway through this fucking exercise, and I'm shit-faced drunk, stumbling into my room after having too much scotch. And I was like, I gotta pee. And at this point, I kind of got used to having a magical toilet where I go to work the next day and I come back and my toilet's clean. So you get used to it, and I was like, fuck it, somebody else will flush my toilet. So I peed, and then I did the guy thing, and I'm going to say this, and every guy is going to be like, oh, okay, I know what you're talking about. And if you're a girl, I apologize, but this is what guys do. With one hand, we grab ourselves to aim, and with the other hand, we put it in front of us and lean on the wall to pee. It's just comfortable. I don't know why. We just lean on the fucking wall. Well, I fucking leaned on the wall, and the tile I put my hand against fucking moved into the wall, and the toilet flushed. The goddamn toilet flushed. It was a fucking tile on the wall. There was nothing special about it. It didn't look any fucking different than any other tile. But I was somehow supposed to know that I fucking push in this magical Batman fucking tile, and my toilet would flush. I lost my goddamn mind that day, people. It was gone. I lost it. But that's it. That was my toilet story about the toilets in Brazil, and how you should probably never be embarrassed to ask how to flush your toilet. Don't be like Noodle and let the poor room service people take care of my dirty toilet. Oh, I feel so bad for them. But yeah, so there we go. That was my trip to Brazil. I think for the rest of these videos, for the rest of the week, I'll probably talk about more stories from my deployments. I mean, that was about it. That was about it for Brazil. We did some cool stuff, but nothing really worthy of talking about. So thank you for watching. Thank you for joining me again. I really appreciate it. I appreciate, you guys leaving comments and stuff. If you guys have any kind of similar incident of not knowing how to flush a toilet, or being confused about a bidet, or something along those lines, or you've been to a foreign country and you just didn't understand how their plumbing worked, dude, leave a comment below. I love to hear you guys' stories. So thank you for watching. Thank you for joining me. When we come back, we're going to continue working on the guard shack and raising up the floor, raise the roof. So thank you very much, and I will catch you all on the next video. Peace out.